Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. And if you are new to the channel, thank you so much for watching today. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Also, if you are new, please leave a comment below and introduce yourself. I would love to meet you. So for today's video, we are going to be talking about my egg donation experience. It has been a year since my first donation and coming up on a year for my second donation. My first one was December 2018 and my second one was middle of April 2019, so it's been almost a year and for that second one. And I still get a lot of comments on the vlogs that I've made about the donation. All of those will be linked above if you guys want to go check those out. They're like of the initial appointments, and there's some of like, you know, the procedure day and everything, so you guys can definitely check those out if you want to kind of like see how it all went. But I still get comments on those videos, and I get messages on Instagram of people asking me more questions and wanting just some more details about the egg donation process and how I felt and everything. So today we're going to cover all of that. First, let me start by saying that the donation that I did in December of 2018 resulted in a very healthy, beautiful baby. I was so blessed to have donated to a person who was willing to share pictures with me. No gender and no name, and I still don't know her name or anything about her family. All we have is pictures of each other. But the baby is happy and healthy and beautiful. I will obviously not be sharing those pictures because that is very private and personal, but yeah, it's wild, and the baby looks kind of like me. It's so crazy. I am so happy for her and her family. Just so exciting. It has made all of this worth it. So I wanted to say that first, that the whole process of being an egg donor is, you know, it's really exhausting with travel and appointments and on your body and the things that your body goes through and like mentally and physically and everything. But now that it's been a year later and there is a beautiful, healthy baby out there making a family so happy, like it is just so worth it. So yeah, I wanted to start with some really exciting news and like the success of being an egg donor. Before I get further into this video, let me just say that I'm in my bedroom right now. I have no other place to film at the moment because we are still like getting settled into our new apartment, and there's a really busy road behind me, so you guys are going to hear some background noise. There's nothing I can really do about it. So I'm sorry, bear with me with that. Obviously there's like not a whole lot going on in here either. We just like made the bed. There's nothing on the walls. Like, yeah, we're still, you know, figuring this smaller space out. Okay, so I have in my phone, I made some notes so I could remember like the dates and stuff of when I did the donations, when I started all of this. So you will pick an agency that you want to work with. I didn't like randomly pick one. I actually met a girl who had donated her eggs, and she gave me the like link and information to the agency that she went through. So that's really why I picked that one. I could have gone with any others, but she like highly recommended it, so that's what I used. I am not going to, maybe if I've said it in a vlog or something, you guys can like look back and find that, but I'm not going to say what agency I worked with or link it or anything. Like, you can do your own research, and if you're wanting to donate your eggs, like, you know, do your own research and find a place that's best for you. So I went with that agency, and what you do is you fill out like all this information about yourself and your family and your siblings and your parents and all this stuff. You provide pictures of yourself when you were a baby, when you're like 3 to 5, when you're like 9 to 10, you know, like the different age groups, it'll tell you what they want. And maybe other agencies are different, but this is just how mine was. And then they ask for like pictures of your siblings and your parents and your grandparents and stuff. So you provide all of that information, and then you submit your application basically. And then once that's all like cleared and you're good to go, I think that's when you go, I'm trying to remember because I don't think that I like, maybe I did vlog the first one. Yeah, okay, so October was when I had my first initial appointment, and that is just for like a pap smear and blood work and making sure that you are healthy, that there's no red flags with your blood work and all that kind of stuff. Like, they want to make sure that you're 100% healthy and, you know, ready to go, and a good candidate for egg donation. So that was end of October time frame when I had like my first initial appointment, and I flew out to Houston. I have a vlog about that, but in the vlog I'm not talking about what I'm doing yet. And I hadn't been picked by a family yet. I was just, you know, doing all the first initial stuff. And then I think I got picked by a family like within a month, maybe 2. It was really, really quick. And that was really exciting. I was a little bit nervous because I didn't know what to expect, but it was really exciting. There was a lot of travel involved, a lot of driving involved for me personally, because the family that picked me, they were based in Texas. So and if you get picked, you will have to go to wherever their doctor is. And obviously that's all taken care of. Gas and food and hotel and all that travel is included. Like this sounds like a travel package, you know what I mean, like a cruise package. It's all included. No, but it's all taken care of. You don't have to pay for anything, but you do have to travel to where they live and the doctor that they're using. But in between that time frame, you're getting, like, once you start taking medications and start injecting yourself and stuff with hormones and all the things that they give you, you have to do visits in between. I think at some point it's like every other day or like twice a week or something like that. But for me, I lived at a place where like it was literally in the middle of nowhere. I lived on a military base like in New Mexico, and I had to drive an hour and a half to El Paso for my appointments. And they all had to be like before 9 a.m. So it was just like a lot of early days and stuff. Again, all of that stuff is in the vlogs. So all of the initial stuff is pretty easy. I mean, if you have like a full-time job and you have kids and stuff, trying to figure out that schedule, I don't know how it could be done. It'd be like really, really hard. You would need a lot of help. But for me, I was not working, and you know, I don't have any kids. So all of this was just like, it was really just like a job. All those appointments are super easy unless you are afraid of needles and you're not comfortable like during pap smears. I mean, no one's like fully comfortable at a pap smear appointment, but you know what I mean? Like those are the only things you really have to worry about. You know, you do your initial appointments, you do your blood work, pap smears, all that stuff, and then they start giving you your medication. And it's just gonna be like a bunch of needles that you have to inject yourself with, and that can be super scary. I do have in a video where I'm doing like my very first like injection, and it took me like 5 minutes just to actually like put the needle into like my bottom of my stomach.
With your finger, see a droplet at the tip of the button.
I think it's gonna be awful.
Look for the dial past the correct number. You are ready for your injection.
But are we? Oh my god, I cannot do this. Just do it. Just do it. Oh my god, I can't. But once you do it, you're like, oh, okay, this is nothing. But as time goes on, when you're doing that every day, twice a day, it's like it does get a little bit sore. I bruised a lot, and yeah, it just starts to like hurt. Also, you're getting like really bloated because your ovaries and everything are like expanding, and you know, you're producing all these eggs. So you are super bloated. Like my pants were so tight, and I just felt like so big, and like I don't know, it was uncomfortable because you know, you're bloated, putting your pants on, everything, like literally sweatpants are your friend. So I think it's like 2 weeks of injections. Also this whole time, or the time leading up to the injections, you're on birth control for like 2 weeks to a month or something. And then you start your injections, and you do your injections 2 weeks, about 2 weeks, I think. I could be wrong. I have to look back at my own vlogs. But it's about 2 weeks before you have your procedure. So let's shoot to my first donation procedure day. That was on December 18th, 17th or 18th, one of those days. I had never been put under before. So I was really nervous about that. The good thing is when you go in, like they put something first in your IV, and it's like literally anything could happen to you and you just don't care. So then I wasn't as nervous anymore. But right before, like when I was laying on the table and right before they were about to put me under, I was like, you guys, like telling like the nurses and the doctor, I'm like, I'm really nervous. Like I'm really, really, really nervous. I didn't expect to be, but I'm like freaking out. The nurse was so nice. She was like rubbing my feet, and she was just like rubbing my legs and stuff, like not giving me a massage, but you know, just like patting me, and she's like telling me it's okay. Then he put like whatever medication they put in your arm to like chill you out, and I was like, okay, like let's do this, I'm good. And it really feels like you fell asleep for a second, and when you wake up it's all over with. How long have I been in here?
Probably about 10, 15 minutes. Zonked. You gotta drink your juice. Shelby, you gotta drink your juice.
And the recovery for that one, like when I woke up, I felt okay. I don't know, like that doctor's office just wasn't, and the nurse that was like in my room with me, like she wasn't my favorite. I didn't feel super comfortable. I felt like I had like very little time to recover, like waking up and everything. I don't know, I just didn't I didn't feel super good in that environment. And I was in a pretty good amount of pain, and I wasn't given pain medication or didn't take my pain pills before we left. So by the time we got back to the hotel, I was in so much pain. That first donation was, oh my God, I was not sure that I was gonna do another one. I was in a lot of pain, and my ovaries were just, you could just feel, they were just so huge. They say that normally they're the size of a walnut, and they get to the size of a grapefruit, and you can freaking feel that. It hurts. But I found out later the reason that it hurts so bad is because there is something called a trigger shot, and it's what you take the night before, or it's like exactly 12 hours before. You have to like set an alarm, make sure that you're like on point with this trigger shot. Because I'm about to do my last shot. This is called the trigger shot. I don't know exactly what that means. I'm actually gonna Google it in a second when I'm done. I gotta do this at exactly 7:30 and it's 7:29, so let's do this. And then that's it. Shots are done for this round. There we go. All right, guys, that's the last shot. And it releases all the eggs. And since it was my first donation, you know, it's kind of like they're testing your body. You know, they don't know how your body's gonna respond to the medication. That's why you have so many appointments back to back, checking you, like doing ultrasounds and stuff, just to make sure that you're responding well to the medication. So they don't know how you're gonna respond at first. So the first time you do it, it's kind of just like they're experimenting. So they typically do, when you do your first donation, it's a trigger shot that lasts for 7 days. So it keeps your ovaries and everything, you know, like expanded and big and ready for the extraction, ready for the procedure for like up to 7 days. So you are big and swollen for a whole week, and it took about 2 weeks to finally feel like normal again. But for an entire week, like I was swollen and sore and hurting. And the day after the procedure, I thought that, oh my God, what's it called? It's like the one thing, like one of the things that can go wrong. Something, hold on. Okay, it says one of the potential side effects to egg donation is a condition called ovarian hyperstimulation syndrome, or OHSS. And the most general of terms, this condition exists when a woman's ovaries respond overzealously to the medication given to increase egg production. Most women produce just 1 egg per cycle, and you're like producing, you know, dozens. Severe OHSS symptoms range from bloating, nausea, vomiting, abdominal distension, and even fluid retention, which puts pressure on the major organs, potentially leading to a stroke or difficulty breathing. So obviously there's a lot of risks in this. But that doesn't happen very often, but that's what I felt like. I was super bloated, it was a lot of pain. I'm on the bed now, so I'll show you guys like how I had to get up. So if I'd be laying like this, but you're supposed to like stay seated up, and they didn't tell me that. I wish the nurse would have told me that. Again, she was not my favorite. So I'm like laying back, and to get up to go to the bathroom, you're supposed to get up like super slow, put one leg over at a time so the fluid can like, you know, even itself out. But I was laying flat back, and I would like get up, and all the fluid would rush to my ovaries, and I thought I was going to effing die. It hurt so bad. And to go to the bathroom, I had to have my husband, David, pull me up, hold me there for a second so that the fluid would move down, and I couldn't fully stand up because it was just hurting so bad. Also, the pain medication that they gave me was giving me like it was helping with the pain here, but it was giving me terrible migraines. Like I was miserable. And then I like wasn't like eating enough, and I would take my medication. So one morning I threw up. I got to the point where I was like, I called my coordinator, which you have a coordinator, you can call her, text her, him or her, email them with anything that you need. And I'm like, I need to go back to the doctor. Like, this is terrible. I feel like something's gone wrong. So I go back to the doctor, and the main doctor sees me, and he was so sweet. Oh my gosh, he was so like calming and reassuring and understanding. He was listening to how scared I was. So he did an ultrasound, but I was so scared to do that ultrasound because I was in so much pain. I was sensitive to the touch. And I thought that an ultrasound wand up my vagina was going to actually kill me. I was crying when they even mentioned an ultrasound. I was like, no, I can't do that. I can't do that. Is there any other way? But he was so gentle and amazing, and everything ended up being fine. And he explained to me about that trigger shot, that it keeps you big and swollen, and it can be a little bit more uncomfortable, but I was okay. Then you switched my pain medication for me, got me something for nausea. God, I can't say words, you guys. Nausea. After that, it was so much better, but it did take a full 2 weeks to, you know, kind of feel like myself again. You're coming off of all of those hormones. You're not taking even birth control anymore, where you're kind of supposed to. I didn't keep taking birth control, I don't think. Maybe I did for like a week or two after, and then I stopped. I'm not a fan of birth control. But emotionally, it was hard to get back to feeling good. I was like angry and then crying and like all over the place. Like the hormones, that was a crazy ride. So yeah, that was my first egg donation, and I was like, I'm not gonna do that again. There's no way I'm gonna do that again. But I think at that point, I had already committed to doing a second donation, because there was another family that really, well, there was two families that really wanted me, but one of the families was and I don't know, like this didn't really like, I guess it did influence the way that I picked, because I had two options there. And one family was a heterosexual couple that already had a child, and the other couple was a same-sex couple that really wanted children, and they didn't have any children yet. So I don't know, I just felt more drawn to the same-sex couple, and I really wanted to be a part of something like that. You know what I mean? Like, they didn't have a baby. They really wanted to have a baby. They really wanted me. So I had a choice there, and I went with the same-sex couple, and I'm so glad I did. They were so open and so amazing. Again, I don't know their names. Wait, do I know their names? I can't remember. That couple did give me a lot of information, because they're allowed to give you as much information as they want. We go through a mediator. We never talk directly. So it's really up to us to decide like how well we want to know each other. If it was up to me, like we would be friends, you know what I mean? Like, but I understand that would be a little bit scary for someone who's like using your egg to have a baby. Like they don't want you to be around, you know what I mean? Like, they're so grateful for you, but that's their child, and you know, not everyone I think would be able to handle that situation. I know that I would. I'd be so stoked to be a part of it, but you know, that's totally up to the family. Anyway, so they were really open. They gave me a lot of information, and they were so great. Oh, also the first woman was great as well. She gave me like plenty of information, but the second couple, it was like a lot more. They were like more open and stuff, and it was great. My second donation initial appointment, where I go and get blood work and a pap smear and all that stuff, was February 12th. So I had just done the donation, the first one, like December 17th, 18th. And then already in February, I was like getting ready to do another one. So all of those appointments went well. I vlogged all of that. And then my procedure was on April 17th, I think. Well, first off, the day before my procedure, that couple had sent me flowers and cookies and thank you cards and stuff, and it was just so sweet. I was like in tears. I just felt like they just you know, they were just so sweet and they were so grateful. And I was like, oh, I'm so glad that I made this decision and went that way, because yeah, I just felt so loved and supported, and it was just amazing. Also, that whole process was so much better. This time the doctors knew, you know, and it was a different fertility clinic still in Houston, just a different one, but they had all of like my information and stuff. So they knew how my body responded to medication last time. So this time, I think I had like less injections, and the trigger shot this time only lasts for 24 hours. So you're only like, your ovaries are only like big and swollen and stuff, and enlarged for 24 hours. And then after the procedure, they go back down. This time, and I have a video on this as well, it'll be linked above. The procedure was quick, it went really well. The nurses and all the staff, they were so amazing. My nurse was so good. She made me feel so comfortable. Like it was just totally different than the first time. It was great. Like the whole procedure, everything went great. But this time coming out of the procedure, for some reason, I was like, the first time coming out, I didn't feel that initial pain, but throughout the day, it got worse and worse and worse. This time, coming right out of the procedure, I had like a significant amount of pain, but as the day and the week went on, like it was so much better. And I was super nauseous this time. After like a certain amount of time went by, they like gave me some more pain medication, and they were just more understanding, and they were just better. They were better with people. It was just like a way better experience. But you have to think about, like, they're going in with like a tube and a little needle, extracting one by one, like sometimes 20 to 25 times. So it's just like a lot of irritation on your ovaries. But that recovery process was so easy. Like, I think I went to the movies the next day, and the first time I did my donation, I could not get out of bed. I was in so much pain. And this time I was like, dang, I can go home. Like, I could have gone home that night, you know, like I felt really, really good. So the good news about that one is that the baby for that couple, I think, is due in February. So like literally within the next couple weeks, and I cannot wait to see, hopefully they send me pictures, and like, I cannot wait to see that baby. And I cannot wait to hear about, you know, the baby being born. Hopefully it's healthy and everything's going well. Back in July is when I found out that they were successfully pregnant, and they like heard their first heartbeat and stuff. So that was like, I was crying. I was just like, it's a weird experience, but you're so happy and you feel so much pride. And when I saw the pictures of the first baby that was born, I was just like in awe. Like, I was just so proud of, you know, what I did. And it's so worth it. It makes the whole experience so worth it. And yeah, it was awesome. What else was I getting questions about? Just basically more details about the whole experience. And that's really how my whole experience went. And, you know, in those other videos, there's more detail, and you can see like the day-to-day of, you know, the travel week, because you are like, before your procedure, you're there in the city for like up to a week before, so you can go to all the appointments. So that kind of day-to-day stuff is in those vlogs. I think some questions about like money. I mean, you can just Google it literally right now. Let me Google how much money you make. So obviously this whole thing isn't like a selfless act. Like, you're doing an amazing thing for another family. And if your heart's in the right place, you can actually really enjoy the experience, versus feeling like it's like a trade, you know, you're trading goods and services, you know what I mean? Like, I saw it in a different way. Obviously the paycheck is awesome. I made a ton of money, but I also, you know, wanted to know about the family as much as I could. So I kept asking, you know, I asked questions, and whatever they were comfortable telling me, I was really open to receive it. And, you know, I wanted to connect. I prayed for the families, went back and forth with the first woman that I donated to, like through my coordinator. I wanted her to know that I was taking care of myself, and I was praying for her, and I was fully supporting her, and she appreciated that so much. We kind of went back and forth there for a little bit between the coordinator, and that was just like, I felt the bond there. And with the second couple as well, I let them know, like, I'm gonna be taking care of myself so well, like there's nothing to worry about. Like, I really am, like, I'm connected to this process, and I really was. I knew that me doing this was going to make a family. And some of these people, they have been trying for 5 to 10 years with IVF, and like this is their next choice because they want to, you know, they want to have a baby and have a family. Obviously, you know, there's adoption, but that's not for everybody. I really connected to the whole experience, but obviously you are getting paid a significant amount. Yeah, so let's see. This is just some random egg donation agency. They say our current egg donation compensation for your time, commitment, and services is $8,000 on average for a completed egg donation. You can earn up to $14,000 depending on your qualifications and the number of eggs you produce. So what they mean by that is you can do like up to 6 cycles, and I definitely could do more. They have me on a waiting, like a holding list right now, because I told them like I'm not doing any more donations, but if by chance I change my mind, you know, all my information and stuff is still in their system. So the first time I think it ended up being like, I can't remember the exact amount I got, anywhere from like $6,500 to $7,000. And then the second time, once you've had a successful donation, it goes up, I think by $500 to $1,000 each time. So my second donation, I think I got anywhere from $7,000 to $7,500. If I were to do it again, it would be $8,000. If I did it again, $8,500 up to $9,000. You know what I mean? So you can make a lot of money off of this, but I don't know. For me, I don't suggest doing it just for the money. And I never just did it for the money. Obviously, the money was great. That really, like that, it was $14,000 in less than 6 months that I got to put into savings and our investments and like into, you know, things that we wanted to do. But yeah, I think it's very important to sit down and think about why you really want to do this. The money is awesome. Yeah, everyone could probably use $14,000 or more, you know, depending on how many times you want to do it. But you do have to go through a lot. It's hard on your body. It can be hard mentally. It's hard physically. So take it very seriously. Don't just go into an egg donation thinking like, okay, I'm gonna do this thing real quick and I'm gonna like make a ton of money. That's just not a great mindset. I don't think you're gonna feel as good about what you've done. If that's what you wanna do, okay, like no judgment, go for it. But I don't know, I think it's just a more special experience when you really think it through and really put yourself in the shoes of the people that you're donating to, really put yourself in the shoes of not being able to have a baby and what you're giving people being extremely important and precious. And it just makes the whole experience so much better. I think that that is everything about the egg donation. If you guys have any more questions, always feel free to message me on Instagram or comment below. But if you want to message me on Instagram to just keep it private or whatever, and my Facebook's linked below, you are more than welcome to do that. I'm super open about this. I will answer anything, more of like the girly details if you guys want to talk about that, like periods and birth control and all that stuff. I feel totally fine. I don't feel like there's anything like going on like with my ovaries or my ability to get pregnant or whatever. I feel totally healthy. I feel great a year after this experience. My periods are totally normal. Everything's good. So it didn't affect me physically in the long term, and mentally. Now that I know that there are 2 babies out there that are half me DNA wise, and I'm okay with it. It didn't like mess me up. It didn't make me think like, oh God, what have I done? You know, I can't believe there's this child out there that's, you know, from my body, you know, whatever. Like I didn't feel like that, not in a negative way. I felt like that in like a more of like a proud, excited way, and excited for the family. So mentally I'm good, physically I'm good. Yeah, so this video is super long. I can do another one if you guys have more questions, but I think I've pretty much covered everything. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope that y'all enjoyed this video and just got a little bit more information and feel, if you are wanting to become an egg donor, feeling, you know, either like you for sure want to do it now, or maybe you have some more questions or whatever, just like feel more confident about the whole situation. I hope that from this video you know that like this can be a very successful process, and if you were lucky enough to find a good donor who you can tell is in the right place, the whole experience I think could just be like really beautiful and amazing and such a blessing. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like this video and send it to other people that you've been talking to egg donation about, or people that you know have been looking into egg donation, if they, you know, want more information. So thank you guys. Please give this video a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button, and I will see y'all in the next one.